of Dover Motor Speedway, aka the Monster Mile. Welcome everybody to more NASCAR Cup Series action. It's the Wurth 400 from Dover. And Urbane, the defending winner, looking to return to victory lane here. Again this season, he won 2 weeks ago, and it kind of seems hard saying 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, because last week, he won the first 3 races in a row. Last week, he scored a DNF, his first of the season, and in fact, his first of his career, after he had a big crash with Erik Jones in between turns 1 and 2 at Phoenix. His teammate/driver, Ty Gibbs, went on to win his first career Cup Series race and locks himself into the playoffs with his boss and teammate. And the 20 we mentioned, he has 3 wins already this season. He won the first 3 races this season in a row. Didn't win at Phoenix because he scored a DNF. He actually got a 30th place finish there at Phoenix. And it was he got no stage points either. Stage 1, blew a tire. Had to pit, finished 22nd. Stage 2, finished runner-up to Ty Gibbs. So he did get some stage points. We kind of lied there. Then the final stage is when the big crash happened, taking him out of the race, and he finished 30th with only 9 points in the stage for that race, plus 5 he gets for being in the race. And yeah, no playoff points for him last week. That's last week, but now effective this week, a playoff point will be awarded to any stage winner. So if you win a stage, you get a playoff point. However, if you sweep the stages, you only still get 1 playoff point. So keep in mind, a stage sweep is still only 1 playoff point for now. But a stage win is 1 playoff point. So that's how it is. And we still got plenty of time before we go racing here. So let's talk about last week at Phoenix. And it was ran on a Monday night. Then again, we talked about Urbane finishing 30th after he crashed out of that race with Erik Jones. Erik Jones finished 31st. Chase Briscoe finished 32nd. Daniel Suarez 33rd. Denny Hamlin 34th. Brad Keselowski 35th. And Christopher Bell 36th. All those guys DNF'd. Now, Christopher Bell and Brad Keselowski were the first 2 cars out. They had mechanical issues there at Phoenix. And the others were involved in a wreck somehow. And we mentioned Ty Gibbs was the winner. And the points have not been updated since Las Vegas, so we will have the points for Phoenix in later tonight, and then sometime later tomorrow we'll have the points in for the race here at Dover for the Cup Series. And tomorrow, it was going to be yesterday, but then had some things going on. So Monday will now be the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here from Dover, and that is when they will update their points too for that. And it's been crazy. We've seen 3 different winners in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We've seen Urbane win at Daytona, the first race of the season. His driver, because he wasn't his teammate in that race, he was a driver driving for his Motley Motorsports crew. His driver, Carson Baker, won at Fontana in his first start since 2021. And then off to Las Vegas, Urbane brought it home 11th at Fontana. Moving on to Las Vegas, Cesar Barcarella gets it done for his first ever win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, locking himself into the playoffs with the 24 of Urbane. Urbane again finishes 11th. We go to Phoenix for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Carson Baker gets his 2nd win of the season. Now this time he was a teammate to Urbane because he was filling in for a driver who couldn't make it. And it was crazy. He crashed with Josh Berry at the end of the race, and he spun into the lead at the time of caution. He was in the lead at the time of caution. That ended the race after they had already taken the white flag. Carson Baker picks up his 2nd win of the season. And that was just 2 starts for him. Now, part-time drivers are only allowed 6 starts a season, but fill-ins for them do not count towards a start on there. So like it doesn't after 6 times of filling in, it doesn't like say that they can't run no more, because they can run as many times as they need to as a fill-in driver. However, each driver in all 3 series is limited to 6 starts a season, and it shall be a good season. I mean, this is going to be race number 5 for both the NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series. Race number 5 for the trucks is not until next week, this Friday, because they didn't run this week. They had the week off, so the trucks, you did not miss the truck race on Friday because we didn't have a truck race on Friday. And what do you say we get this thing rolling about 5 minutes early, just because it's going to take a while? So before we get to Alex Hayden, race analysis, 400 laps, 400 miles around this track. And we're just going to estimate the fuel window to about 30 to 40 laps. We're going to estimate the stages. I'd say stage 1 probably 80, stage 2 125, and then however many are left after that. Again, that's just an estimate. They're probably going to be something else. But let's get it down to Alex Hayden from Motor Racing Network.
Welcome to the Monster Mile here at Dover Motor Speedway, one of the most physically demanding tracks on the schedule. We're getting ready to see these drivers take on this 1 mile high-banked concrete oval. I'm Alex Hayden, bringing you all of the action from the Duramax Dryden 400. Drivers are ready, the teams are ready, cars are gridded, and the fans are ready for the command. Let's go trackside.
Thank you, Alex, and high banked indeed, Alex. And again, it's a 1 mile track here, so that's why it's going to take about 400 laps to go 400 miles. And just so you know, those of you who are wondering why the live stream just stopped last week at Phoenix, is because there was technical difficulties and we were unable to get it restarted for you guys, so that is why you weren't able to see Ty Gibbs as the winner, but he did in fact win the race. And if you follow us on our social media, we always try to update. We can get that for you at the end of the live, but we got 400 laps to run. Urbane wins his 2nd pole of the season, so he gets a playoff point for that. And here we go. So Urbane on the inside, Kyle Busch on the outside as they come off of turn 4. Here they go. And what the heck? Hang on a sec, everybody, because that ain't right. We were the only car on the track. Well, not the way we wanted to start the live stream. There should have been about 40 cars on the track. Oh, it was only set to 1, not 40. I meant there should be 35. So that was my bad. Now we're going to start the Dryden. Or now we're going to start the Wurth 400, excuse me. So we used to call it Dryden because that's what it was called for 3 years.
Welcome to the Monster Mile here at Dover.
And we're going to skip Alex Hayden this time because we're just going to pretend that didn't even happen.
We're getting ready to see these drivers take on this one.
Alright, so 1 mile, high banked oval, 400 laps, 400 miles, off turn 4 they come. Green flag in the air. We're racing at Dover. So 120 laps here in stage 1. And welcome to the one viewer, and you actually picked the perfect time to tune in because we made a mistake. But the 20 wins the pole, which is his 3rd pole of the season. We said 2nd earlier, but it's actually his 3rd of the season. And he's going to lead lap 1 here at the Monster Mile. So we mentioned earlier that it's 400 laps, 400 miles. And it's going to take 120 laps to complete stage 1 here, so there will be a pit stop or two here. And we mentioned the 20 coming off a big crash at Phoenix with Eric Jones, who is currently running third. Both those cars DNF. Noah Gregson in fourth in just his second start in the number 11. We mentioned on our social media that until Martin Truex Jr. retires in real life, Noah Gregson would be driving the 11 and Denny Hamlin would be driving the number 15 that we acquired, or that Team Irvine acquired from Rick Ware Racing. Almost forgot the name. Oh, into the wall goes the 20. And he's got Chase Elliott on his bumper, and you've seen him drive completely into the number 9 there to keep him behind him. But why does it say the 00? So we mentioned earlier, we go from Dover to Atlanta. And that's going to be a 1.5 mile super speedway after the new reconfiguration of it. So just a warning to people who don't really like long videos. This probably will take about 3 hours to complete this race, so just a warning to you. As you see, it's only a mile track, so it doesn't take long to complete a lap here. As the 20 is starting to put a gap between him and Chase Elliott, a quarter of a second. Chase Elliott still has yet to win this season in both here and IRL, really, because had a great chance at the Indy Road course today. Unfortunately, just was not there for him because Michael McDowell was too far away. I think had he had an extra lap, he would have been able to run down McDowell and potentially pass him for the lead, or if a caution would have came out. Personally, I think when Todd Gillen spun out there and wrecked, that should have been a caution, even though it's a road course, because there's cars in the area, and it shouldn't matter if they're a lap down or if the leader's really far ahead or not. I think if there's cars in the area, it should be a caution. Now, don't get me wrong, like seeing Michael McDowell win, but definitely think that there should have been a restart there, and McDowell should have had to fight Elliott there for it in the end. Just my opinion. But continuing on here. Almost got a 1 second lead between him and Chase Elliott, the leader does. Now, we mentioned he's won 3 races. He won the first 3 races in a row. Crashed out at Phoenix, DNF there. And to the one viewer, you might be confused as to why the live stream just stopped. Technical difficulties, we're unable to get it going again, so we just provided an update before the race, and Ty Gibbs actually picked up his first career Cup Series win there at Phoenix last week. And Urbane, he didn't get to go to victory lane as a driver for the 4th race in a row, but he did get to go to victory lane for the 4th race in a row as a team owner this time. And he's really good at Dover here, so I would not be surprised if it's a 5th week in a row that he goes to victory lane, but this time parked in the number 20 in victory lane for the 4th time this season. Still way too early yet. We're only about to complete 11 laps in this 400 lap race, but I mean, you got to start talking about the people who are good here, because I mean, you got the 20 pulling away, and it's just, you know, and it's just, that's how good he is at this track. Not very good here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, though. Only has about 2 wins here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, so still some work to do in that. Maybe he'll pick up his 3rd career win here tomorrow. He's trying to earn that 2nd win of the season. But right now, outrunning Chase Elliott by 1.5 seconds. He started on the pole. Remember, he has not started on the pole since Fontana. Fontana was the last time the 20 started on the pole. And it's proven that if he starts on the pole at a track he's good at, he's good. And we talk about how good he is here at the Monster Mile. Jimmy Johnson got his name put on the track. I think by the time the career's done for the driver of the number 20 here, or whatever number he's driving when he retires, his name will definitely be put on that list here at Dover as one of the greats here. I can't promise he'll have any Jimmy Johnson saves and keeping it out of the inside wall and outside wall, but still really good here at the Monster Mile. And almost a 2-second lead between the 20 and 9 here at the Monster Mile. 15 laps in, we're going to take you side by side. You won't miss a thing. Welcome back to the Wurth 400 here on YouTube TV Network, NASCAR Cup Series racing from the Monster Mile here at Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware. 24 laps complete here already, and it's kind of hard to believe that we're saying that because, you know, at most other tracks, I mean, you'd probably still be on like lap 15, something like that, but not the case here at Dover. It's only a 1 mile track, and you know, it's technically an intermediate, but this track races like a short track. I mean, Look at, you got the short, I mean, in reality, the straightaways are short. You got the short straightaways, then you got your turns. This is pretty much like a larger version of Bristol. I mean, you got all the banking and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like, most people could get away with calling this a short track because it does race like a short track. However, it's technically an intermediate, and it might not even be an intermediate. I'm not sure what Dover is. If there's any NASCAR fans from Delaware that knows exactly what Dover is, feel free to share your thoughts. But to me, it could be called a short track, it could be called an intermediate, but again, only a mile-long track. As Denny Hamlin about to fall a lap down to his boss. So notice, it took 27 laps for the 20 to catch up to the cars in the back. And he still hasn't got Hamlin a lap down yet. Now he does. Looking to lap Cole Custer. Ryan Newman's taking a break from the 51 this week, so it'll be Cole Custer on board that machine for his first race of this season. And now he follows the lap down, and look at what's next. His old car is next for going a lap down. Oh, the 20's up the track. He's going to go into the wall a little bit. Makes contact with that outside wall. But because he's in the lap traffic and doesn't have Chase all over his back bumper, he's able to just slap that wall and continue cruising on in the lead. Now he's got to try to catch up to Ryan Preece here, though. He's catching up to Ryan Preece. There he is. He's to the back bumper of Preece. Got one right. He's going to potentially clear him off a 2 here. Yeah, he clears him way before 2. BJ McLeod, playoff contender last week. Or not last week. Yeah, last week. I meant playoff contender last season, gonna fall a lap down. And he got into the playoffs by winning a stage at Daytona, because last season we didn't do, oh, almost turned BJ McLeod there, the leader did, but last season we didn't do playoffs by points, we did them by finishes, and BJ McLeod had a lot of great finishes, to the point where he would have had a lot of points if we were doing them. And all he needed, and he felt good that all he needed was a stage win to make the playoffs. Well, he did just that at Daytona. He won stage 2. And then, even though there would only be like a few laps less than 80 in the final stage, there was some rain. The track was dry. They were sent back racing for the final 80 laps. And the 4, because at the time he was driving the 4, Irvine driving the 4, went to victory lane there for the 3rd straight season in the Coke Zero 400. And was a points, well, in reality would have been a point spoiler for some drivers, but was definitely a spoiler for some drivers looking to make it, as Josh Berry up there in 31st going to be the next victim as soon as the 20 makes his way up there. But, you know, if you're the 20 right now, you've seen that you almost spun out the 78, so you're going to try to play it a little safe here. Potentially let off the gas if you need to. You don't want to full gas it into the turn like you did that one time when he almost spun out the 78, because you really don't want to caution already in the race. I mean, especially with this big of a lead, you don't want that caution. And let's say you get down to your fuel window, you really don't want a caution coming out when you're trying to pit, because then pit road will close, and then you'll have to wait till it's green again to go, because this isn't NASCAR Heat 5. You can't just pit under caution and not get penalized by going to the back. I mean, in reality, you just go to the back. It's not really a penalty, but I mean, you don't want to go to the back because you're pitting when pits roads is closed, and the 20 actually had to do that last week because he when he got his tire down, had a tire go down again. This one was before he crashed. He had to pit after the stage, like when the caution came out. He had to pit when the caution came out because he didn't have a choice, and that was not really good because he lost a ton of track position and then ended up crashing out of the race.
Clear, car right.
As the 20 makes his way under the 77 of Ty Dillon there. And now Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has fallen back a little bit after having a great start to his season. Stole a couple wins last season. He actually won, I can't remember where it was his first one. Oh, it was Pocono. He actually won at Pocono. And then he actually won the playoff race at Talladega, got all the way to the championship 4. And then Irvine ended up winning his last championship and last race in the number 4 Ford Mustang. And that might not even be his last championship and race. We say that now, but, you know, someday maybe he'll return to the number 4 car. Maybe he'll drive the number 9 car. Maybe, you know, he's only driven for 2 actually, in reality, he's driven for all 3 manufacturers. He drove the number 9 car for a few races last season and then decided to go back to the number 4. And I mean, we've seen him take a look at those you know, options, and he has said outside of racing, outside of these live streams, that he has interest in returning to the number 9 Chevy Camaro. So we'll have to see how long he's a part of the Toyota TRD family. I would say at least as long as he was a part of the 4. I think he does 3 seasons with Toyota, and then he's on the, and then I think he's back in the number 9. I think it was with the number 9 he actually won his first race at Sonoma last season. We're talking about that. There's a lot of tracks he has never won at in his season, or in his career before, and that was one of them. His rookie year, he finished 6th. His teammate won. The Carson Baker, who was in the league at that time, won that. He finished 6th. And then his sophomore season, his second year, he was about to win the race, about to get the white flag, and instead Ryan Preece goes below, out of bounds initially, passes him, takes the white flag under green, and Irvine said that he should have probably just tapped his bumper and made him spin or something going into the turn, but he wanted to race him clean for the lead, and the caution came out, and Ryan Preece ended up winning. He ended up finishing 2nd. That's why he said that he should have just tapped the back bumper of the, then he was driving the 37. So he said he should have just tapped the back bumper of Ryan Preece's car and let him lose it going into the turn. But then, I mean, you got a driver mad at you. You know, both going for the win. So then it took 3 seasons for him to finally win at Sonoma, and he won last season. I think it was with the number 9 too. So it will not surprise me if someday he doesn't go to the number 9. But again, we mentioned that he loves it with his Toyota TRD family, so I think he's going to stick around there for a few seasons. As we have completed 48 laps and almost at the fuel window, so we'll take you side by side after the fuel, or after the pit stops. So, but the 20 continues to lead. He's led every lap in this race so far. Give me 1 second. No, I don't. I'm actually busy. Look at him. Alright, sorry about that, folks. We're continuing here. But the 20 has led every lap in this race. Actually, got to pause again because my cord's tingled from my headphones. Alright, there we go. So, he's led every lap in this race so far. Definitely going to end up giving up the lead when he stops for fuel here. But, I mean, everybody's going to have to stop for fuel, so it's not really going to matter him giving up the lead. He led about 36 laps in the Cup race last week before he blew that tire. And I think if he didn't blow that tire at the end of stage 1, then he would have won stage 1 and potentially been able to compete for the win in the race, but ended up crashing out. As you see, Ryan Blaney, the next victim here. Chris Buescher's kind of hoping that these two go side by side for a while.
Hold your line. All clear. Got one
and the 20's going to clear Ryan Blaney in turn 1. And now coming off turn 2, the 20's going to get a run on Chris Buescher here. Now, fun fact, Chris Buescher is actually the winner of 4 Cup Series races in real life now, winning at Michigan in real life last week. Richmond the week before that, Bristol in 2022, and then I can't remember if it was 2016 or another season that he won at Pocono. So that's kind of cool getting to see him win. Hopefully that's the first sign of many wins and maybe a couple championships for him before he retires. Same with McDowell. I hope that that's the sign of many wins and maybe a championship or 2 before he decides to hang up the suit. Well, William Byron's getting ran down now. And in real life today, not a very good day for him. He didn't really get to qualify at Indy because he failed pre-race inspection too many times. They said, you're not qualifying, you are starting dead last. So kind of not really a good start to him. Don't know where he exactly finished at, but I know if you start in the rear at a track like that, you almost finish towards the back because it's kind of hard to pass, especially when the cars pull away. And the 20 has announced he'll be pitting next time by. Oh, since the tires aren't seeming to wear out, I guess I just won't change those until later. Oh, missed it. Keep forgetting it's there. So the 20 will probably bring it down next time by because... Nope, never mind. He said he changed his mind. He's going to lap 60. Which is smart. I think you should stay out and at least run 60 laps. So we know that you can go 60 plus laps on fuel here. Probably only about 65 laps on fuel. And the best part is him staying out. He gets a chance to lap more cars. So if he puts more cars a lap down, then that's less cars he falls back when he comes out of the pits. So he definitely should be pitting next time. I would imagine you just stay behind Austin Cindric here, let him stay on the lead lap. Looks like he's gonna. Yep, and he's down. He's down to pit.
Alright, right there. You can see him. Go get him. Keep focused here. Still a few more out front. solidly in the top 10 now. Keep this pace. Keep focused.
So let's not forget, it's a fuel-only stop.
Only a few laps till we pit. Only a few laps till we pit.
And it's Chase Elliott who's currently in the lead. So the 20 is currently running 35th, and he led 59 laps. And it's only 2 laps led for Chase Elliott. It's going to be 3 now. So I would imagine it's going to be fuel only for the last stop before the end of the stage, but I mean, you take a look at the 20, led the first 59 laps of the race, had to pit, obviously, because you got to pit, and back out there, and doesn't end up going 2 laps down. But now he's got a lot of catching up to do, because he's got to unlap himself. Because he is at least 1 lap down. He's the first car 1 lap down.
Car right. Clear, clear.
Brad moves up the track to let the 20 in. Corey LaJoy is down pit road. Contact between the 20 and McDowell, so keep in mind the 20 is not in 14th or 15th place because obviously a lap down. So he's going to have to unlap himself, then come all the way back around the track.
Clear, clear.
So now he's currently running 26th. And now he's gaining a ton of track position. Up in 16th, and now he's got to find Ryan Preece on the track.
Got one right. All clear.
Which I think he has. And now he's back into the top 10. Now the top 5.
Got one left. Clear all around. Clear all around. Car right.
And the 20 does not seem to be very happy with the 16.
Good job. Go give me one more. Awesome job. Let's command this thing now. Got one right. Clear all around. Stay left. Watch the light. Pit road is closed.
And he turns the 16.
They got us for passing of the yellow.
And green flag.
One left. They're all around. Car right.
Oh, he gets the 4 into the wall, though. The 4 might not be happy with him now. There might be some tempers here at the Monster Mile. So the 20 led 59 laps. We'll say the 9 led 18. And that was the first caution of the race. And the reason the caution came out is because, obviously, you see the 20. He's on that high side. And, I mean, yeah, AJ's coming off a pit road and going to take that high side, but he just completely runs into the 20 there, almost spinning him out. 20 obviously not happy about that, understandably. He spins him out heading into turn 3. And Michael McDowell pulls up to second place. How about that? So it'll be 61 laps led by the 20 this time by. Actually, 67 laps led. This will be 68 laps led right here. So stage 1 getting down to the wire here. Still got a little over 20 to go though. Probably around 40, something like that. So in reality, these cars should be able to make it to the end of stage 1. If not, they could go in and take fuel only and get right back out there. Yeah, with that caution coming out, I think that these cars are safe to run to the end of stage 1. There's no reason why they shouldn't be. So, definitely think that they can make it to the end of stage 1. So it took, keep in mind, earlier, as it's now 69 laps, or 70 laps led by the 20, keep in mind, the 20, it took him 27 laps to catch the tail end of the field. So we know it's going to take a while for him to catch up to there again. And we did promise you a side-by-side after the pit stops, but we ended up catching up in the pit stops and the tempers. So why don't we grab one right now, side by side. 95 laps complete in the Wurth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway. And my team, or the person talking about it, is actually my own team. It's Team Irvine. And I've been on my own team since my rookie year in the Cup Series, so it's brought me 3 championships and hopefully more. Now continuing on here, the 20 continues to lead. How about Michael McDowell in second place though? He continues to stay there, and he's been there since the restart. And let's remind you, the caution only came out because the 20 was in the top 5, running position 4. Remember, he pit like he was supposed to, fell a lap down, had to get that lap back. Ended up doing that, then came back around the track and got track position up to the top 5 because everyone else had to pit. He was on the high side going pretty fast. He was up to speed. AJ Allmendinger was coming off a pit road and door slams him. So, because AJ's not going that fast because he just came off pit road, the 20 decides to retaliate and sends him spinning around, and that brought out the only caution so far. In my opinion, it was justified. The 16 wants to door slam him, coming off a pit road when he's up on the track racing. I think that is exactly what he was asking for, and because, again, he wasn't going that fast, so he deserved it. And even if he was going fast, kind of deserved it, but I mean, you mentioned that you don't want to turn somebody at full speed into the wall, and actually he didn't even turn him head onto the wall. He just spun him, and the back end of his car went up into the wall, so huge favor for AJ Allmendinger in the retaliation. Could have turned him head on into the wall. Didn't want to do that, though, because you don't want to be parked for a race. As we got 20 laps to go in stage 1, and again, these cars should have enough fuel because of that caution. And we found out that the 20 was able to run the first 60 laps of the race without having to pit. In reality, he only ran 59 on track, but once he passed the start-finish line on pit road, that's what marked 60. So in reality, it was only 17 laps led by the number 9. And to get an accurate number of laps that the 20's led, because he's led every lap except for those 17, we're just going to take the 120 and minus it by the 17 at the end of the stage, and we will tell you. Now, most people would say that's simple math. You can't just do that in your head. I'd rather just type it out because it's faster. Maybe you guys know the answer and you can just say, but try to be fast and get an accurate number of laps for you guys that the number 20 has led in this race. He started on the pole, so again, we mentioned he does get the playoff point for that. And we mentioned another thing at the beginning of the race, that as he gets ready to go around Cole Custer here, that playoff points will be given out at the end of the stages. However, for now, if the driver sweeps the stages, they will still only get 1 playoff point.
One left, stay high.
So that's how it is for now. So I mean, again, those playoff points will obviously play crucial later on in the playoffs, especially because if you get enough of those playoff points, you could probably crash in 2 of the races and still make it to the next round. Oh, contact with the back of BJ McLeod there. The 20 clips the wall. You're gonna see battle scars here at the Monster Mile. Miles will leave his mark on your car. You're not gonna come out of here without Miles leaving a stripe on your car. It's just like at Darlington, that they call Too Tough to Tame. These 2 tracks, you will leave with a mark on your car. There's Chris Buescher, the next victim here, and we mentioned the winner of 2 real-life Cup races this season. Won a real-life Cup race last season, and I believe it was also back in 2016 that he won a race in real life, so that will be 4 career wins for him. That's pretty good. Michael McDowell obviously picking up his 2nd career win today. Good for him, too. Todd Gilland, the next victim here, and then Josh Berry. Now, in real life, we already know what happened with Noah Gragson. Originally, he was driving the 42, got suspended indefinitely by NASCAR, and then demanded a release from the team. However, in the esports world, Urbane, who currently drives the number 20 for his team, Team Urbane, decided that he was going to buy the number 15 charter from Rick Lair Racing, and that was originally what he was going to put Noah Gragson in. But he wanted Noah Gragson to be able to compete for some wins, so he then moved Denny Hamlin to the car, which Denny agreed. They talked about it. Denny agreed to be moved to the 15. So Denny drives the 15 for now. Noah Gragson drives the 11 for now. And when Martin Truex Jr. retires in real life, that's when we'll retire him in this series too, he will switch over to the number 19 and Denny Hamlin gets the number 11 back. Maybe though, so that way Denny does get a spin at his car. Maybe we'll swap him around between the 15 and 11 this year. Just because, I mean, I feel like it's kind of unfair to Denny because that has been his car. So maybe we'll see. But look at that. Gragson running in front of Hamlin right now. Denny Hamlin running in the 35th position. Now, Gragson is in 28th, but again, he's still ahead of Denny right now. Obviously, even if he wasn't really ahead of Denny, he's obviously still ahead of Denny because he's a position greater than Denny, but a few positions greater than Denny, but you guys get the point as we have 9 laps to go in stage 1 here at Dover. And I imagine once you're in lap traffic, you can probably save that fuel some in that car.
Clear.
As there's a little bump between the 15 and 20. Coming to 7 to go. You see Noah Gragson there, gonna be the next victim to his boss.
Got one right.
I tell you what though, in his first 2 starts he has done nothing but impress Urbane. Gragson actually captured his first ever NASCAR Cup Series pole in his first start for the team in the number 11. So that was pretty good for Gragson there. Obviously 1 playoff point, but I mean no wins. You have a playoff point without a win because you won a pole. So, I mean, that's great. But you also think about it, it's kind of weird at the same time because we give out playoff points for poles in this league, but he doesn't have a win. So, like, what if he doesn't make the playoffs at the end of the year? Then you know what happens to the playoff points. Well, here's a crucial thing. Here's a crucial, whatever you want to call it.
Stay left.
There's a chance that even if he didn't win a race, with that playoff point, that could count as 1 extra point, meaning that could potentially help him get into the playoffs later this season. As we'll be coming to 3 to go next time by. So Gragson still has an extra point. So like, let's say he's -0 to another car who's +0 above the cut line. That 1 extra point would put him right in the playoffs. As we got 3 laps to go in stage 1, and again, obviously enough fuel to make it here. However, the 20 is going to have to pit. I mean, everyone's going to have to pit. But I would imagine that happens after the green flag in stage 2 because, well, guess what? You don't want to pit under caution because pit road is closed. And you don't want to have to go all the way to the rear. You just want to get in pit road. I mean, you're probably going to fall back anyway, but you just want to get in pit road and get out as fast as you can. So 2 laps to go in the stage. And now we're on the final lap of stage 1. And since, even though the tires aren't going down for some reason, Since we didn't change the tires, realistically we would have had to, but since we didn't change the tires last stop, we'll definitely toss some tires on our car this time. But look at that, into the wall, 2 stripes there. As he comes off of turn 4, and to the green and white checkered flag. He wins the pole, dominates this stage, and will win stage 1 here. And again, we mentioned that Chase Elliott led 17 laps in that stage. So let's do this. 120 and just minus 17, and 103 laps were led by the 20 that stage. So look at that. There's your top 10. All those points will be given out to those drivers. Justin Haley, that is actually good for him because Haley is so low in the standings right now that finish right there could be enough to knock him up in the standings. And the best part is still plenty of racing left to do in the regular season, so he doesn't have to worry about the playoffs yet. And here we go. So 120 laps in stage number 2 as well. And a good majority of the cars are a lap down. Look at that. That was 25th place. Restarting side by side with the 20 there. Whoa, okay, you don't want to spin coming to pit road, but look at that. You definitely just messed that up for yourself.
Only a few laps till we pit. All right, top 5. Here we go. Let's stay with it. Keep moving forward.
Alright, so remember, changing the tires this time. And now the 20 is back out there. Currently running 24th. So I mentioned he's led 103 laps of the 120 in stage 1. That's 103 laps of the 122 we've completed. And now here he comes. Catching up to the field. Keep in mind, this is only stage 2. We still got a ton of laps to run in the final stage.
All clear. 2 on the outside. You're 3. Car right. All clear.
So the good news for the 20 is it looks like he's still on the lead lap. He's just got to find the cars that are ahead of him
2 on the outside. You're 3.
and make his way back around the track. A caution would be the most helpful,
Clear, clear.
as it looks like the 45 of Tyler Reddick is in front of him.
Clear, clear. Got 1 right. You're in the middle here. 3 wide. All clear. Got 1 left.
Oh, contact with Chris Buescher and into the wall.
one right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. All right, hold your line.
As there's his teammate Ty Gibbs ahead of him, who won last week.
Rewind. 2 outside. Stay left. Clear all around. 2 on the
And Michael
outside.
McDowell was running second, but now he's
Outside.
running 11th.
Stay left. Clear, clear, clear.
Probably how he was running after the pit cycle.
Got one right. Clear all around. Stay left. All clear.
So who's ever in the lead,
All right.
they have led 10
Hold
laps
your line. All clear.
this time by, and we're going to take you side by side as soon as we hit the line. You won't miss a thing.
Stay left. Clear, clear. Stay left. Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. Clear all around. Stay left. Clear all around. All clear. Stay left. Clear. Back it down. Yellow's out. Back it down. Yellow's out. Two on the outside. Here, 3. Car right. All clear. 3 wide. 2 outside. Stay left. All clear. Car right. 2 on the outside. Here, 3. Clear, clear. Pit road is closed. Back it down. Yellow's out. You're in the middle here. 3 wide. 3 wide. 2 outside. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Stay left. Build that speed. Build that speed. Got one left. Got one left. Clear, clear. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Pit entry is red.
Oh, that was the 4th caution right there. And the 20 ended up spinning himself off with somebody, as there was 2 cautions actually. Michael McDowell, another car got spun out coming to pit road, and then the 20 got himself off the bumper of a car there.
3 wide. 2 outside.
Currently running 18th place. And because he's got a lot of cars a lap down, he's not able to restart up by
Clear all around.
where everybody's at that he needs to pass to get that track position back.
Got one right. 3 wide.
So right now he's kind of stuck in 18th place. He's going to have to race his way around the track. And right now should be able to get the track position back.
Good job. Go give me one more. Leader. Got one right. Leaders are pitting now. Clear, clear, clear.
So the 20 was the leader for the moment and still is, as this will be the second lap he's led here at this stage. So in reality it's 105 laps led and everybody's spinning each other out on pit road.
P2 right there. Keep digging.
And Chase Elliott behind him is now in 7th. And I think he should be able to run down Chase here. Chastain is currently your leader. I've looked at all the ground the 20 gained,
Got one right.
and now the 9 and 20 are side by side for 7th
Clear,
place.
clear. Got one right.
How about that? The 20 clears him. So we've seen 4 caution flags in this race so far. And we saw the cars all pit at the same time, but 20 took the lead, led a couple laps. And now he's going to try to get back up into the lead. He's got to pass 22nd, 15th, and 14th first. One of those cautions, the 20 got into the back of Noah Gregson and turned him around there. Tried to actually help him. Ended up spinning out the other direction, though. And then that most recent one was involving the 20. Probably going to need a caution to catch the leaders, but we'll see. He's led 105 laps in this race. Ross Chastain has led pretty much all 43 or 42 laps. Probably 43 now in this stage.
Got one right. Clear, clear.
And now, he's got to get around Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, and Denny Hamlin. We are closing in on 200 laps complete in this race, but still got less than 40 to go.
Got one left.
Before we are halfway.
Got one right. All clear. Got one right. Clear, clear.
I was going to say the 12 of Ryan Blaney might want to be careful because the 20 does not let off the gas if he does not have to going into the turn. And you don't want to find yourself off the bumper of the 20. He did let off the gas there through those two turns.
Car right.
And now he did let off the gas there, but he drove it in deep to try to get around Hamlin first. And did that successfully. Now he's got to find his way around Christopher Bell up here. In the, what we're pretending is the O2. And Michael McDowell is currently the 6th place car, so as soon as he makes his way around Christopher Bell, he can get up there with Michael McDowell. And the 20 is all over Christopher Bell's back bumper and should clear him off of 4 here. Maybe no. He should clear him off of 1 here.
Got one right. All right, hold your line.
And he will.
Clear all
And look at that. He's got the 6th and 5th place car in his sights up there in Eric Jones and Michael McDowell. He's got both of them in his sight. He's driving it in deep. Oh, he's going to make contact with McDowell. Still not clear yet. Now he's clear of McDowell for the 6th position. He should be able to get around Eric Jones here for the 5th.
He's got the speed. Now get after him. Got one right. Clear all around.
The 20 has led 2 laps here
Car right.
in stage 2.
Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. All clear.
And now we're going to try to run down Ross Chastain if he's still the leader.
All clear. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Clear, clear. Got one right.
Looks like he's going to have to go through a lot of lap cars if he wants to
Got one right.
find the other 3 cars ahead of him, but now he's up to 4th. So somebody must have pit or something like that. Oh, the 20 gets into the wall. That's going to definitely slow him down a little bit.
Stay left. All clear. Got one right.
You got to drive through all this lap traffic to find those
Still next to you.
other 3 cars.
Clear all around. Got one right. Got one right. Still next to you. Clear, clear.
A caution will help.
Car right. Clear all around.
Up into the wall again.
Stay left. Clear, clear, clear.
So it looks like Austin Cindric is currently the third place car, and he is ahead of Josh, or not Josh Balicki, he is ahead of Ty Dillon. So the 20 has to get around Cole Custer and Ty Dillon here.
All right, hold your line. All clear. Got one right.
And then now he's just got to find Chastain and the other. Guys.
Car right.
So the 20 will get one playoff point for stage 1. However, if he runs down these leaders and wins stage 2, he will not get a playoff point for that. Because it will only be one playoff point, as mentioned before. But look at this. Austin Cindric just ahead by 1.6 seconds. And he's closing the gap on Austin Cindric. He didn't even let off the gas going through those corners. He didn't even let off the gas going through turns 1 and 2, it looks like. Cindric knows he might be in trouble. Trying to earn some stage points so he too can get up there in the points. I believe he is up there in the points, but he's just out of the playoffs if the season would have ended after last race. We gotta get the points in for last race first, though.
Stay left.
And yes, we remember what they are, as the 20 makes contact with a 2, but clears him for third place. And I would imagine after he gets around these 3 cars, he should start to be able to see where first and second place are.
Got one right.
Alex Bowman currently running 9th.
Still next to you. Clear all around. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
Stage 1 points for Justin Haley, but just outside the top 10, almost into the top 20 here. Gotta get in that top 10 by the end of the stage if you want stage points. As Martin Truex Jr. is in second place, and he is ahead of Chris Buescher.
Still next to you. Clear, clear, clear.
So now the 20's just got to get around the 17 here, and then he should be able to run down Martin Truex Jr. for second. And then he can start trying to figure out where Chastain's at.
Still there. All clear.
Martin Truex Jr. is out ahead of him by just under 3 seconds. And he knows, his crew chief is telling him that that 20 is fast. He knows that from other drivers, that the 20 is fast. It's going to be a lot harder running down Chastain. And it's going to be harder than it was running down Martin Truex, but he took that 3-second lead down to a 1.5-second lead. And look at him, just full gassing it through the turns, trying to get to Martin Truex there. Which for now is his teammate until he retires. Which will not be possibly until after the 2024 season in real life, because he has said he's coming back for 2024s. And the 20 is there. But Martin Truex Jr. pulls in front of Kevin Harvick now to try to stretch that lead back out. The 20 knows this. The 20 is also fast enough to run both of them down.
Got one right. Still there. Clear, clear, clear.
Martin Truex Jr.'s crew chief is telling him that the 20 is there. Chastain has led all 73 laps this stage so far.
Got one right. Still next to you.
As meanwhile, we got another teammate battle for track position.
Clear, clear, clear.
And the 20 takes away second place.
Got one right. Clear, clear. Car right. Stay left. Clear all around.
So we know the 20 is at least going to have to get around these 4 cars to see where Chastain is at. And he ran down Martin Truex Jr., so I know he can run down these guys too. And keep in mind, let's take a look all the way back to the Busch Light Clash. The 20 decided to come to pit road, get some fresh tires and Sunoco fuel in that car, even though he didn't have to. And Martin Truex Jr. was way out ahead of him in the closing laps of the race. The 20 was able to run him down and take the win away from Martin Truex Jr. in the Busch Light Clash. And now he runs him down from a 3-second lead to take away potentially 9 points in stage 2.
Clear, clear.
We know who else is looking to take away those 9 points from him if the 20 makes his way around. Obviously Ross Chastain. If the 20 passes him, he wants to try to get the position back and try to pass the 20 again to hang on to that lead after pretty much leading a good number of laps, leading the second most laps in this race at actually 77, because the 20 did lead 2 laps in the stage. He wants to obviously win this stage and continue to lead laps. However, that 20 is running him down just as fast as he ran down Martin Truex Jr. And he is just 3 cars ahead of the 20 right now. And you already know that the 20, if he can, is going to try to full gas it through these turns to catch you as he takes it 3 wide. As Martin Truex Jr. must have come to pit road because he's now 14th on the track. And look at that battle, 3 wide.
2 on the outside, you're 3.
Ross Chastain just a 1.5 second lead now. The 20 has only led 2 laps this stage. Chastain has led 80 of them. As we have 199 laps to go total in this race. And look at this, here comes the pass for the lead. As Chastain clips the wall, that's going to allow the 20 to take the track position he needs.
Car right. All clear.
And now we'll have to see if the 20 can come all the way back around and lap Chastain.
Got one right.
But you wonder if he has enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage. Because he stayed out and continued to battle for the lead. As he too now goes up into the wall. Oh, goes down into Ryan Blaney.
All clear. Got one left. Clear, clear. Got one left. Clear, clear,
And the 20 is saying he will stop for one can of gas if needed.
One down low. Still there. Clear, clear, clear. You're in the middle here. 3 wide. Car right. Clear,
3 wide
clear.
up the middle goes the 20.
Got one right. All clear.
We've had 4 cautions in this race.
Clear, clear.
2 of them coming here in stage 2. We know there's another caution coming at the end of stage 2.
Car right. All clear.
And now after you lap Eric Jones, you gotta go all the way back around to lap Chastain.
Clear all around. Got one right.
So currently only 80 laps, or only 86 laps were led. Not 86. I meant, we'll stick with 77 for now. Only 77 laps, or no, 80 laps were led by the one at Chastain. And the 20 has led the rest of them this stage. But you start to look at that fuel, and you know we still got 30 to go. 2 laps from now. What do you start thinking about doing here? I think at this point, if caution comes out, I mean, you're going to start, probably not in first place, but you ain't going to start last. I think you just pick.
Pit road is closed.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to pit. He has to pit. As he makes contact with William Bryan, brings out the 5th caution flag of the race. And still currently is the leader. And now he can make it to the end of the stage, so he just has to start at the tail end of the field, obviously. But
Got one right.
we know he can make it now. And pretty much you just gotta take 120 minus 77 and then add that to and then whatever laps are left of those are the laps that were led by the 20, you just take that and add that to the 103 he led in stage 1. Or he led in the race so far. And that's how many laps he's led. But Chastain leading the 2nd most laps here. Oh, you don't want to get yourself turned again, as he almost gets Stenhouse involved in that one too.
Got one low. Still next
Oh,
to you.
Alex Bowman gets him up into the wall though.
Still next to you.
Now, I think at this point,
2 outside.
you're trying to get around all this lap traffic. I mean, you're out front regardless, but you're trying to get around all this lap traffic So that way you can just cruise your way without having to worry about anybody by you. And why don't we sneak in one last side-by-side before the end of the stage here?
Clear all around. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Clear, clear. Got one right. All clear. Stay left. All clear. All clear. Got one right. Got one right. Clear, clear. Stay left. All right, hold your line. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Clear all around. All right, yellow flag. All right, yellow flag.
Caution is out as we welcome you back, and here we go. So the green flag is in the air,
Stay left.
and
Clear,
there'll
clear.
be 7 laps to go
Got one right.
at the line next time by.
Clear, clear.
What a great run here as we get ready to complete stage 2 here at the Monster Mile. And it's going to be an exciting race week here at the Monster Mile. We'll wrap up our Cup Series coverage here tonight. Then our network takes over for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race tomorrow, right here at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And not only that, this week will be week number 9 of the NFL Summer League season, so just a couple weeks remain in the regular season. Actually, I think this would be week 10. So, actually week 10 of the NFL Summer League, so playoff spots on the line. Who makes it in? We will have to figure that out. Of course, week 10 will kick off Saturday and Sunday. There'll be 3 to go at the line.
Got one right. Clear all around.
And the 20, despite sweeping the stages, he only receives 1 playoff point. However, he did a nice job running down those leaders here. He won the opening stage, no problem. Now out front, leading here late in stage 2. And having a good race so far. Also, just a reminder, the Team Irving team wants to remind you that at the end of this season, you will get to vote the #1 paint scheme from the entire season. So each of the paint schemes for the number 20 this season will be posted at the end of the season after the championship race. And the best one obviously wins out of the whole season celebrating NASCAR's 75th anniversary. So yes, we have been saving the pictures that we take, or they have been saving the pictures that they take of the car as the 20 wins stage 2 here at Dover.
Pits are closed.
So he gets 20 points, but however only 1 playoff point, and that time it's William Byron snagging the last point here. Chastain will settle for just 3 points that stage.
Pit road is closed.
And the 20's gonna pit anyway. I mean, you might as well, right? Into the stage, might as well pit. Especially since you're the leader. You might lose a couple track positions, but as long as you're on the lead lap, you can just run them back down, so it doesn't really matter. And he's still the leader, as we have 160 laps to go from the Monster Mile, so gonna have to pit probably at least 3 times before the end of this one. And for some reason, the car did not really go off the start there, so the field kind of just drove away from him a little bit there. But now he's chasing them back down. We thank the fans for sticking with us throughout this race. I mean, always appreciated.
All clear. Got one right.
Especially because it is a long race. I mean, 400 laps, that's a lot of laps to run. But it's not the first time we'll be running 400 laps this season.
Got one right. All clear.
The next 400 lap race is the Coca-Cola 600, which is actually after
Got one right.
the Am Better Health 400 next weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Stay left.
But see, that's not just broken up into 3 stages. That's a 4-stage race. The only race with 4 stages, and the longest race on the schedule at 600 miles in length.
Clear. right. 3 wide. You got 2 up top. Clear, clear. Stay left. All clear. Got 1 right. All clear.
As you see the 20 making his way through these cars here, just trying to get way out ahead of them, so that way he can just
Clear all around.
continue to remain out in front. And again, the tire pressure's not going down, so technically don't really need tires here. Might as well just take the fuel. And I'm not sure why, because tire wear is on, because it's the same as fuel consumption.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Got 1 right. Clear all around. Car right.
Also, we are getting closer and closer to our first road course race of the season. So let's talk about that. I mean, still got a couple races before that, but
Car right.
our first road course race of the season at Circuit of the Americas for the Cup Series. Remember, stages will not be turned on for that race because there will be no stage breaks in that race. Instead, we will have our own stages, so we'll figure out how many laps it is on 100%, and then we'll just divide it between a few laps. We'll divide it up like that, and then figure out from there
Got 1 right.
what the end of stage 1 is going to be,
Clear, clear,
what
clear.
the end of stage 2 is going to be, and so forth. And the winner will still receive 10 points. And
Clear all around.
a playoff point.
Car right.
However, we won't be able to tell what the
All
other
clear.
9 cars, who the other 9 cars are, unless if everyone is still together on the scoreboard. So that will be the only not so good thing of it.
Got 1 right.
But I mean, I guess we could just pick cars to give points to that we think would be good enough on road courses.
One left. Clear all around. All right, keep it high.
Oh, the 99 drove the 20 into the wall there. I don't think the 20 is going to be too happy about that, but you really don't want to keep retaliating in the race, so I imagine he's probably just going to let that one go. He might show his frustration a little bit, but
Stay left.
oh yeah.
Still there.
See, he lets off, so he just got into his car there
Your line. All clear.
to show his
Stay left.
frustration. And see, that's the thing about the 20. I mean, you know, he will retaliate against you. And he did it in the Xfinity Series to Sage Karam at Las Vegas. He will retaliate against you, but he will never actually fight somebody on pit road after the race. He will just show his frustration on the track, talk to you about it, be like, hey, look, man, I didn't appreciate that out on the track, and that's that. Usually they're talking, shaking hands by the end of the night. No biggie. And I'd imagine both, you know, he's going to talk to both Allmendinger and Schwartz and be like, hey, man, no hard feelings, but that was kind of disrespectful how you raced me on the track out there, so that's why you got what you got. I mean, he's not going to be easy on him, but he's not going to be aggressive either. Actually, got paused for a sec. Had to pull the headphones down because they were starting to hurt my ears. So again, it's probably going to be 2.5 to 3 hours that this video will be.
Car right. All clear.
I mean, obviously well over an hour in now.
Got 1 right.
Probably even, it might even be 2 hours in, I don't know, but...
Car right. Clear, clear. Got 1 right.
All I know is we are in the final stage here at Dover. Still a ton of racing to do, though. We are not done from the Monster Mile yet. As mentioned, we kind of get a break from long races at Atlanta Motor Speedway next week, only 260 laps. Then it's going to be another 400 lap race. And actually, let's see the next race after that. So, first we got to... Okay, so it was... So, the 20 led 43 laps in Stage 2, by the way, for a total of 146 out of 400. Now we're going to tell you the next race after Charlotte, which is Talladega. So, again, I mean, we kind of get a cool down from the long races after Charlotte for 2 straight weeks because we're going to run 188 laps at Talladega. And then after that, it's only going to be 250 laps at Bristol Dirt. So, you get some breaks after a 400 lap race, and then you get another break because after Bristol Dirt is Circuit of the Americas, and then it's a 200 lapper at Michigan. So, I mean, after the 400 lap race at Charlotte, you're going to have back-to-back-to-back weeks of shorter races. And that's good for the drivers, too, because, I mean, like, you know, imagine every race was 400 laps. That would be crazy. And in fact, if we were at Atlanta this week, the 20 would be coming to the white flag, indicating 1 to go in the race right now. So remember, at Kentucky, when they ran the Quaker State 400, it was 267 laps. They moved it to Atlanta, it was 260 laps. But now that Atlanta has been shortened from a 500-mile race to a 400-mile race for both races are 260 laps now, instead of 325 like it was before. And in fact, in real life, William Byron won the last 325-lap race at Atlanta, and here in the league, you're looking at the leader right now. He's the last one to win the 325-lapper at Atlanta. For the first race. Well, we are 262 laps into the Wurth 400, and we'll take you side by side. You won't miss a thing.
Got one right. All clear. Car right.
.273 laps complete in the Wurth 400 here at Dover Motor Speedway, aka the Monster Mile. And 20 still out in front, but getting close to that fuel window. So he can run about 60 laps, plus a little more on that fuel. So he's got a little over 30 laps of fuel left.
Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. Clear all around.
Now, again, the tires don't seem to be going down for any reason, so, I mean, you could swoop in, take fuel only, get right back out there. And take advantage of that.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
But so far, has led every lap this final stage. So, this will just add on to the laps he's already led. Remember, leading 103 in stage 1 and 43 in stage 2. And currently 36 here in stage 3. So almost to 43. That's the same amount he led in stage 2.
Stay left. All clear.
I think if the caution comes out, though, I would just pit. It'd be the 6th caution, but just pit. Get that taken care of. Back out on the track and continue racing. Closing in on 100 to go, though. Still got 120... Let's see. 120 would be lap 281. So, let me think for a minute. So about 102 laps to go here from the Monster Mile, and it'll be 101 at the line.
Car right. All clear.
Oh, 121s, rather, not 101.
Car right.
Oh, the 20 gets in a Cole Custer, but keeps him out. Not Cole Custer, Ryan Priest, but he does not get in the wall. It's just contact. Honestly, you're going to have contact at racetracks like that. Especially like this one. Bristol dirt race coming up in a few weeks. There's going to be a lot of contact in that race. And the 20, Irvine is actually racing in the late model race. The Wednesday of the week of the Bristol dirt race. So that'll be exciting, that Wednesday night racing on the dirt at Bristol in the late models. I believe the trucks go to Eldora that weekend, so he'll also be racing Eldora that week too. That would be Thursday night. He flies from Bristol to Eldora, Ohio. Does that, flies back from Ohio back to Tennessee. Or not from Eldora back to Ohio. He'll do the truck race on Friday at Eldora. Then he'll fly to Mid-Ohio, I believe it is, for the... Well, we could just drive, but you get it. He'll get to Mid-Ohio for the Xfinity Series, I believe it is. Run the Xfinity race on Saturday, then he'll fly back to Bristol, Tennessee to run the Food City Dirt Race on Sunday. When the Cup Series heads to Circuit of the Americas, the NASCAR Xfinity and Truck Series has that week off. So it's just COTA that weekend for the Cup Series.
Stay right.
Gets in the back of William Byron. That was almost the 7th caution right there.
Stay left. Still next to you.
William Byron currently running 5th. He
Still
will
there.
fall a lap down, though.
Clear, clear.
And Ty Gibbs, how about this?
Got one
Wins
right.
last week, running 4th this
Alright.
week, but is going to fall a lap down.
Got one right. Clear all around. Stay left. All clear.
I like those little bridges on the back straightaway here at
Stay
Dover.
left.
That's how you know you're at Dover to
Clear,
me.
clear, clear.
As Eric Jones, how about this? Having a day here at Dover, running 3rd. However, getting ran down by the 20, and that's not what he wants to see in his rearview mirror, because he knows the 20 is the leader, and he knows he's going to go a lap down. Chase Elliott, I believe, is still running 2nd, and even he does not want to see the 20 in his rearview mirror, because that means everyone has been lapped on the track, and the 20 wants that because then he can make his money stop and not have to worry about anybody maybe unlapping themselves or you know, even losing track position while pitting. Chase Elliott knows, or the 2nd place car, whoever it might be, if it's not Chase, knows that the 20 is behind Eric Jones and is running him down. He's reeling him in. He knows that it's only going to be a matter of time before the 20 catches him if he can get around Eric Jones here. Look at Eric Jones, still 7.7 seconds ahead of the 20, but look at that 20 sending it through the turn without hitting the brakes. One thing he has done on several occasions today. He puts the bumper to Eric, makes him go up the track.
Stay left.
Not going to clear him off of 4, but he should clear him off of turn 1
Still
here.
there.
And he will clear him before turn 1. And obviously you're going to want to fill your car up here if you stop. It looks like he is going to slide into pit road this time. No, he missed it. He missed it, so he's going to have to come back around the track. And you see him keeping Eric Jones behind him. How will that affect him? That is unfortunate. You've seen him miss pit road last time by. However, look at Eric Jones coming in with him. Eric Jones is currently 2nd place, so he knows that unless a car gets 2nd place, Eric Jones cannot pass him. And he's just taking fuel only, the 20 is. So Eric Jones still in 2nd place. I think Chase Elliott can actually come back around, get 2nd and the lead here. As Eric Jones is just a few behind the 20. And we mentioned fuel only for the 20 here.
Stay left. Clear, clear.
And the 20 still in the lead.
Stay right.
So that's the first stop of this stage. Still probably going to have to do about 2 more before the end of the race. That was a good stop by the 20 crew. There again, I mean, the tires aren't going down, so why would you take tires? I mean, it's realistic to take tires, that's why he took them at the end of the stages, but if they're not going down, why make your stop longer when you're trying to win this race? Even though you already got 3 wins and a guaranteed spot in the playoffs, that means nothing. You want that regular season championship, you gotta stay high in those points, you gotta keep getting wins and playoff points. And that's gonna be a caution, the 7th one. Yes, it will. As there's 3 cars turned around on the back straightaway. And the green flag back in the air. So now that should save some fuel for these guys. And maybe they'll only have to make 1 more stop now before the end of the race. We'll have to see. I think it's still going to be about 2 stops left. A full tank of gas again, then maybe you could get away with taking 1 can of gas. I think if a late caution comes out though, and you've been running constantly on gas, it wouldn't hurt to grab a can of gas, fill your car up, even if you lose a couple spots on the track. As long as you leave yourself enough time to do so, you could still get the lead back and potentially win this thing. Well, we have just under 100 laps to go, and we're going to take you side by side again.
One right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Still next to you. Clear, clear, clear.
87 laps remain in the Wurth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway. 20 continues to be out front here, and I think after that pit stop, which won him stage 2, that's what really helped him, as he stayed out front for every lap this stage so far. Chase Elliott and them on pit road. And you got to take advantage of pit road when you can, because again, it was 120 laps in stages 1 and 2. It's 160. That's 40 more laps here in stage 3 to that final checkered flag. The 20 just pit, so he won't pit again until he gets around a quarter of a tank of fuel, which again is a great idea. Stay out as long as you can, especially if you're the leader. You know, I mean, in reality, the 20 has nothing to lose, because even if he doesn't win this race, he's still in the playoffs. But at the same time, obviously going for the win here, but also at the same time, yeah, you should stay out as long as you can. Meanwhile, I think Harrison Burton is out of the race. Looks like he's been in the garage there. As Noah Gregson can't seem to get it past 34th place there. But still plenty of racing to do. I mean, we're only about to be to 80 to go. I'll tell you what, the most impressive thing, though, was Noah Gregson getting the pole in his first start for Team Urban. That was a great experience for them. Ryan Blaney nabbed the pole at Vegas. Urbane won the pole in the first 2 races of the season. Blaney nabbed it at Vegas. And last week, Noah Gregson nabbed it. This week, the 20 of Urbane nabs it again. And having a nice race, Denny Hamlin up in 31st place. Struggling in his first 2 races in the 15, but he'll manage. He's a great race car driver. So now we have 79 laps to go. We're about to be 100 laps into stage 3, so still got less than 20 to go before we're at 100 laps in the final stage. So let's talk about next race since we're getting ready. We've talked about it a few times already. The Am Better Health 400 from Atlanta Motor Speedway next Sunday. Probably at night again. We'll see. Right here on this channel. It's going to be 260 laps, 400 miles in that race. And it is the second super speedway style race of the season. Again, we mentioned that it's a 1.5-mile super speedway after being repaved. And the last super speedway race we did was Daytona, which was won by the 20. And I could imagine that 20 going back to back. If he wins this race, I could see him winning at Atlanta next race too. As last season was the inaugural season on the new paved surface, I see him winning. He won in the trucks on the paved surface last season. I could see him stealing it next week too. Well, you know what I could also see him doing? I could also see him winning 3 races in a row again. If he wins this one, I could see him winning the next 2 races. Possibly the other one after that. It's just the driver of the 20 is just so good at these tracks that he wins a lot.
Clear. Car right.
Alex Bowman running 18th. Been running solid here. He actually has won here in real life before. We've seen 7 caution flags in this race, but besides that, a rather clean race.
You're in the middle here, 3 wide.
3 wide up the middle. That usually never works at Dover. And technically, I mean, if this track was a little bit,
Keep it high. 3 wide, 2 down there, still there.
or maybe not a little bit longer, but if the banking in these turns was a little bit higher, Dover could be considered a super speedway, as Bubba Wallace gets the 20 up the track and into the wall there. Oh, 20 hits the wall again. I think he was trying to give the bumper to Bubba and saying, hey man, I don't appreciate that. Oh, it's not over yet.
Stay left. Clear. Reckon. Yellow's out.
And the 8th caution is out, and I'm sorry, but Bubba was asking for that one. There is no reason to launch him that far up the track.
Clear. Car right.
And the 20 probably should have pit there. He's going to have to pit anyway. Yeah, I could see the 20's frustration with Bubba. I don't think he was really going to try to turn Bubba like that. I think that his main intention was just to give him the bumper, but going into the turn, definitely slid underneath him, came up the track, got into him, retaliated against him, spun him out. However, like I said, you talk about the 20, he's not the one to like fights and all that stuff like that, at least as a race car driver. He's one to just go out there and race, and if you race him not clean, he's not afraid to show you or tell you that you raced him not so clean. And in that case, with Bubba, AJ, Daniel Suarez, you saw him say, hey man, that's not how you race me. So it's going to be another fuel-only stop for the leader here. And even if he does lose the lead, I mean, everyone else is going to have to come to pit road also. So he can still get it back. But how about that? All 99 laps in this stage so far. Led by the 20. And I expect him to lead more if he hangs on to the lead here. He's taking fuel only, and he's still in the lead as he gets right back out there. So it should only really be one more stop in this race before the final checkered flag. So again, we said about 3 stops for pitting here in the final stage. I think you can go 60 laps on gas. So I mean, if he has enough gas at the end to make it, then he's probably going to go to the checkered flag. But if a late caution comes out or not, why not take advantage and pit? And this Brad Keselowski, 35th place, and this would be the second straight week he's finished dead last if he doesn't get up there in track position. We think the 21 does have a mechanical failure because he is in his garage stall. And Brad Keselowski might have one too. There might be 3 cars with mechanical failures there. So Chastain has led the second most laps, but this race has belonged to the 20. Swept both the stages, definitely expected to hold on to the lead here and win this thing. Now catching up to that lap traffic. Now why don't we do a side-by-side real quick, because we haven't done one in a while. Actually, you know what? We'll go to lap 111, then we'll do our side-by-side. That's just a few laps from now. So Austin Cindric running 15th. Looks like he's going to be the first car to get a taste of another lap down by the 20. And you see the 20 getting on the apron there even. That's also how he's been able to full gas it through these turns sometimes to catch people. He's using that apron to his advantage. See? Look, he's on the apron right there. Michael McDowell running 14th. Still a really good position to be running on the track. He was up in the top 5 earlier today.
Stay left. All clear. Now one right. Clear all around. Car right.
And have a day, Ty Gibbs. It might not be another win, but look at the track position he is in. 8th place right now. Just a week after winning at Phoenix Raceway.
Clear, clear.
William Byron running 7th. I believe he's just outside the playoff picture currently. We'll have to see what his standings after Phoenix were. And we are going to plan on starting our NASCAR show over here on this channel to talk about the league and the first 5. We'll talk about the points after the first 5 races of the season, because we will have those in for all 3 for the Xfinity and Truck Series. Now, since those have been doing online,
3 wide, 2 outside.
I can't promise the points will exactly be spot on through 4 races for the Truck Series or 5 for the Xfinity, but we will still try our best to get you a good amount of points figured out there.
Clear,
As we now have 58 laps to, or 48 laps to go in the Wurth 400 from Dover. We'll take you side by side.
2 on the outside. You're 3. Got 1 right. Clear, clear. Car right. All clear. Car right. All clear. Stay left. Clear, clear, clear. Got 1 right. Car right. Clear all around. Got 1 right. Still next to you. Still next to you. Clear all around. Got 1 right. Stay left. All clear. Got 1 left. Clear, clear, clear. Car right. All right, hold your line. All clear. Car right. Still next to you. Clear, clear, clear. Got 1 right. Clear, clear.
.38 laps to go in the Wurth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway. And I gotta say, it's been a fun race so far here at Dover. And it's kind of hard to believe that we have just 38 laps to go. But, I mean, how about that? A clean race. Only really 8 cautions. Did have a couple incidents that resulted in retaliation on the track, but other than that, I think it was just fine.
All right. All clear.
You know, you did have your cautions for incident, but it happens. I mean, It does. You have your cautions for incident, you have your cautions because of retaliation, you have your cautions because of spins, tires going down, cars slamming into the wall. It's just... this is how it is. You have your cautions coming out at the end of the stages. Either way, these guys still go out on the track and put on a show even if their car is damaged. And they have continued to do so for 366 laps this race. This would be the final lap if this was the Southern 500. Fun fact. But it is not. You see the 20 got into the wall there. Always causes them to end up going down a shift. But you see him right back up to speed there. How about Ross Chastain? Led 77 laps, currently running third. Don't really know he has a chance in this one if it stays green, because I think he might be multiple laps down. Which kind of burns a little bit if you're a Chastain fan, but if you're a 20 fan, you gotta love this car being out in front, especially because a week ago, he completely wrecked out of the race, like, and did not finish.
Got one right. Still there.
And to just come out here and dominate the Monster Mile, of course, take home a few stripes with him. All over the place on his car. That is just an honor.
Car right.
If he hangs on, this would be his 4th win this season, but he still has 30 laps to go. I'd imagine a late race caution, you put it down pit road. Get that fuel. Get that 1 can of gas. And finish her out. See them using that apron. Look at how much track position the 20 gained, or how much he gained on the 02 there. Running the bottom. Uh-oh. He's gonna tap Christopher Bell there.
All clear. Car right.
Oh, that was close. That almost was the 9th caution flag. Denny Hamlin now in 30th position.
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
I know back when Denny was driving the 11, he had a good amount of points, but I think over these last 2 races, he hasn't had that good of points because he DNF'd the last race, and in this race, he's not running so good. Justin Haley got points in stage 1, outside the top 10 stage 2, now in the top 10 here. Closing in on 20 laps to go. Oh! 20 slid up, made some contact with him. You don't want to. You don't want to spin somebody out and then get yourself wrecked.
All clear. Stay left. Clear all around.
And there'll be 20 to go at the line. And why don't we take our final side by side?
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. All clear. The leader's in the pits. Got one right. Clear, clear. Got one right. Clear, clear. Car right.
$15 laps to go in the Wurth 400, and you saw it during the side-by-side. The leader made an interesting choice to come down pit road and put a can of gas in it, and he is guaranteed to make it to the end now. So these guys that are a lap down might want some cautions to start coming out to get back on the lead lap now, because the 20 can make it.
Car right. Clear, clear.
Alex Bowman gonna get that lap back at least, but might lose it again here. And yeah, the 20
Clear, clear.
driving deep into three there. Takes it back away from him.
Got one left. Got one low. Clear, clear, clear. Car right. Clear all around. Clear, clear,
And
clear.
you seen him getting a coil of joy there. Make some contact with him, get him up on the wall, but he didn't spin out. So that will not be the 9th caution flag.
Car right. Clear all around.
And 10 laps to go in the Wurth 400. This is where it's gonna start to get interesting. Because if 2nd place, or even 3rd place, 4th, all the way to 10th, is only 1 lap down, which I know they're not, and the caution comes out, a few cautions come out, they could get back on the lead lap and challenge this 20 for the win and possibly steal it from the 20. However,
Got one right.
if this thing continues to go green,
Hold your line. All
the
clear.
way it is, the 20 in pure domination is going to win this race. Oh, that was almost the 9th right there, coming off of 2. 20 end of the quarter panel of the 14 almost turned him around.
Clear, clear.
And there is 7 laps to go from the Monster Mile. And the fans are on their feet. They're enjoying this one. Especially, well, at least the 20 fans are enjoying this one. Any number 20 fans are on their feet right now. Watching their driver navigate the final laps of this race, at least what we hope is the final laps of this race. And they're going to get to watch him in the Xfinity Series tomorrow take on this track. And he gets the 5 to go signal from the flagman.
5 more strong laps. Car right. Clear all around.
This has got to be a good feeling. You wreck out of the race last week, and you come out here this week and just make that DNF turn around
Stay left.
and dominate the race.
Clear, clear, clear.
And make sure and make the field frustrated, trying to get up there and compete with you. As there's 3 laps to go from the Monster Mile
3
now.
more to go.
You can hear the cheers as they know who's in front as they're looking up at that scoring pylon and the video board.
Just a couple more here.
And does not look like the caution flag will come out, so off turn 4, 1 lap to go, presented by Urbane Woodworking. Pure domination, leading every lap this stage,
Car right.
making the right calls on pit road.
Stay left.
frustrating the drivers since the start of this thing. Off turn 4 he comes for his 4th win of the season. He's gonna get it done here at Dover. And Martin Truex Jr. was running second 4 laps down. That's gotta be stressful. And look at that, we have 3 DNFs for mechanical failure. Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, and Brad Keselowski having mechanical failures. That's the 2nd week in a row Brad Keselowski has not only finished dead last, but has had a mechanical failure, so we'll have to figure out what's going on with that car, but that was an amazing race. And honestly, gotta love it for the 20. So he led 146 laps total over the first 2 stages. Adding 160 to that, he led 306 of 400 laps here today. And don't go anywhere, because after we view Victory Lane, it's time for the burnouts.